April 5th. How blessed is the man. Let every soul be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and the authorities that exist are appointed by God. Romans 13:1. Most people in the United States don't look forward to April 15th. It is the most dreaded day of the year, tax day. Not only do we have to labor through the tax forms, or pay someone else to do it for us, but we have to bid farewell to a portion of our hard-earned money. And yet, it would pay us well to be cheerful givers on this day, since God's will for every Christian is to be subject to the governing authorities. Romans 13:1. There is always a blessing, directly or indirectly, in submitting to the will of God, even when it seems undesirable, like paying taxes. Blessed are those, Jesus said, who manifest a submissive spirit toward God as Lord in their lives, humble in spirit, mourning over sin, meek, hungering and thirsting after righteousness, merciful, pure in heart, making peace. These are beatitudes found in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 5, verses 3-9. To obey the governing authorities is just one more way of submitting to the will of God and living a blessed or happy life. On tax day, or any day, find ultimate happiness by submitting to the will of God in all things. Worship is the submission of all of our nature to God. William Temple. Today's devotional doesn't really point out the nuance of the issue of serving a government, of living in a corrupt government. Like, where do you draw the line? For instance, in communist Romania, we did a devotional a little bit in the past. You can follow the link that I'm going to put up here in the corner for Richard Wurmbrand. He said, I would rather follow God than this government, which is obviously going from the socialist state to communist. It's going to kill people needlessly. It's going to cause severe depression to the economy as the few on the very top get more and more power, while yes, everyone becomes equal, but equally poor. Do you submit to a government, let's say if you lived in Germany a century ago? There's plenty of Christians who fought against Adolf Hitler and sought to remove him from authority. This goes for Christians all over Europe and in China, fighting for the freedom of the oppressed. Jesus does say, give Caesar what is Caesar's and give God what is God's. So the context of this verse, sure, it can be for tax day. But if America starts oppressing people because of their faith or because of their ideas, this is not a nation you have to participate in. As Christians, we are to love everyone always and not be rabble-rousers. But nowhere in Scripture does it say be a doormat.
It's a nice strong heartbeat. Okay. 16 millimeters. Okay. So we have one perfect heartbeat.
There has been a genocide on the black population, if you want to call it potential life. 20 million black potential lives were murdered since the inception of Planned Parenthood. So I ask, is America a righteous nation? I think that what Paul is saying to the Romans here is a presupposition that the government is punishing evil and rewarding good, not punishing good and rewarding evil. Take this with a grain of salt. This is my own opinion on this verse, but I have my convictions on the matter. A unique life story, if you will, listening to my parents' life stories around the dinner table. So, yes, give Caesar what is Caesar's. Pay your taxes, for crying out loud. Do what's right before God and before men, but do not support a government that starts to murder people systemically, a government that starts to oppress and destroy the lives of innocent people. April 15, mission accomplished. When he had received the drink, Jesus said, "It is finished." John chapter 19, verse 30. The Greek word tetelestai, I think that's how you say it, I don't know. Tetelestai. How do you say that? I want to find out. How to pronounce the Greek word tetelestai.
Τετέλεσται.
Tetelestai.
It is done.
Okay. All right. The Greek word tetelestai is the victorious cry of the victor, Jesus. What was finished that gave rise to this victorious cry? The Old Testament prophecies were fulfilled. Jesus Christ was born in Bethlehem and was counted among the poor. His body was pierced, his clothes divided, his dignity mocked. Victory over the enemy was complete. Darkness was overcome by brilliant light. Satan's power was broken and destroyed. Christ went to prepare a place for us and will once again return in glory to take us to be where he is. Man's salvation is complete. The demands of God's righteousness were met. He redeemed us with his blood. Our debt has been paid, the warrant for our arrest nailed to the cross. Sin no longer rules us. Jesus triumphed, conquering Satan, sin, death, and hell. It is finished. How can we escape if we trample such great salvation under our feet? Take a minute to meditate on that question.